previously on Dragon Ball Z.
So, we teased this last week. We're gonna... Let's...
Ooh, do you have it or must I play it?
You do it. We got a voice note from one of our many fans. Thank you so much for that. They've got a good question for us.
One of our thousands.
Yep. Once Arielle gets through her 10 minutes of Instagram scrolling, she will find the voice notes.
I'm desperately looking. Wait, you sent it from not you, that's why. You sent it from a NAG number. The work phone.
Yeah. It's on the number that you guys can
There we
send
go, got
to.
it.
Let's go.
Got it, okay.
How's it, Nag? How's it, everyone there? Hope you all had a fantastic week or day or whatever so far. I thought of another interesting question that I would like to hear some of your input on. But I was thinking about the esports scene of South Africa, maybe the world in general, but I thought let's just keep it local for now. But I've never been too much drawn to the esports scene purely because the games that they play there I don't relate to at all in terms of like, I just feel like all of them have the same formula in terms of they're all very tactical and stuff, which don't get me wrong, it's the bread and butter of a esports game. But I think like Valorant, and you have CSGO and you have COD and all those ones are very tactical shooters and stuff like that. I'm talking about shooters specific. I know there's FIFA and everything, but I thought if you could choose any game to enter the esports scene in South Africa, which one would you choose and like to see? Now, from my point, I did a little bit of thinking on it, and I thought it would be fantastic just to see a little bit of the old school stuff make a comeback. So, for example, in my case, I was thinking about either a Quake esports scene or a Halo esports scene, purely because those shooters are so old school, and it would be fantastic to see how the old school stuff compared to the modern stuff in terms of how the people approach compared to how much more tactical COD and Val and those stuff are nowadays, and compared to just mechanics in the old games like strafing. Something as simple as strafing in Quake and Halo was much more different than COD and all that. And yeah, I think it would just be fantastic to see those retro games on the big stage again. But yeah, hope you all enjoy your day. Have a good one.
So
esports. esports.
That's quite a lot of information to like process. There's a lot of questions and everything going on in there.
So, I don't watch esports. However, there is an exception to the rule.
Mm-hmm.
I am hugely addicted to League Worlds. Like, I love it. League Worlds is like my Super Bowl, I guess. There's just something about the excitement. I love their like super theatrical opening they have each year.
Mm-hmm.
I know the players. I think that is a vital part. Like, you get excited. Wow, Faker's back from retirement. He's playing again. Oh, this is great. What is that dude doing thinking he's better than Faker? Like, I don't know. It's the one esporty thing that I actually feel excited about.
Yeah.
And I do sort of feel the South African scene, it's not really so much that they don't play the right games. I just feel like I don't have that emotional connection to any of our local players.
Okay.
And I feel like that is what any sport, not even esports, I mean, you don't really watch Man U for Man U. You watch for your favorite Man U player. And you're like, oh, he's great, he's wonderful, whatever. People get attached to other people.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like we don't have that platform where we're like, oh, he's the South African Faker, he's super great, I'm gonna watch for him. I feel like that's sort of, at least for me, like, that's why I don't bond with South African esports.
Maybe. Also, quickly, I feel like you might have upset a few football people there saying they don't support Man U because they love Man U. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people who love soccer teams for the team Anyway, I don't.
Okay, yes, you know what you call them. You know what you call those people?
What?
Football hooligans, and it is frowned upon. Those are not fans. Those are obsessed people, Cody.
What's the difference? What's the difference? So, I mean, also for me, Worlds for League is the one that I watch most of. I mean, I do dabble a little bit in IEM for CSGO here and there. But Worlds, I think, is like the best event to watch. And I read an interesting thing about it the other day, a couple months ago. And they were talking about why is Worlds so popular? You know, there's tons of events out there, but something about Worlds like just captivates everyone. And the thing was, for Riot, they call it something, I can't remember the exact term, but essentially Riot makes a loss every time they host Worlds. But the thing that they're trying to get across is they're trying to create this hype. So they hype up the players, they hype up the teams, they make this event like
For
one
sure.
of the craziest. Like, remember that season, was it 2 or 3 years ago, where they had the dragon flying through the stadium?
I had goosebumps.
Yeah.
I had actual goosebumps,
It's
right?
crazy.
Like, I may have had nipple stand as well, but for sure goosebumps. It was amazing. It was the first time. It was that year where like holographic things
Yes.
just started taking off.
Yeah.
And it was the first time, at least me personally, that it was done well.
Yeah.
Like, it was so good.
Yeah, it was believable. You know, it felt like, I
Yeah.
mean, we weren't there, but just from the reactions of everyone, like, to them, the dragon was right in front of them. It was crazy.
Yep.
So, and I mean, if you think about it in other terms, not just esports, like regular sports, right? Technically, the Olympic Games is like where the best of the best go, right? But people
Yeah.
don't get hyped about the Olympic Games as much as they get hyped about the Rugby World Cup or the Soccer World Cup or the Cricket World Cup, right? It's the hype of the event that like
Yeah.
attracts the crowds and everything like that. So maybe in the local scene, we just haven't found the right sort of mix of hyping up an event that's gonna get the fans to follow it and then, like, you know, start loving the players like they do Messi or Faker or whoever it is, you know.
100% agree with you.
So maybe we're just
Even
waiting
like-
for that event.
Like, a couple of years ago, I always use this as my example for like why I feel South African esports isn't taken to as easily as overseas esports. All of my mates that game, like my gaming group, all of us play League. It is just our game of choice. Yes, they've branched off, like a couple are super into CSGO, COD, whatever, but the core thing that we play is League. And whenever there's like a big international, like Worlds, whatever, we all watch and we're all super into it.
Yeah.
And then there was a small little pop-up event that happened locally, and they had a local League of Legends match, and we were all there, and my friends were like, oh, maybe this is for them because they've never seen local League. Let them sit down and watch.
Yeah.
And the person that was casting kept on calling Poppy Tristana.
Oof.
And the 5th time that it happened, collectively all 13 of my friends stood up and was like, it's not for me, I'm leaving.
Oh.
And walked out. And like, that was unfortunate,
Yeah.
but I feel like it sours people's perceptions.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you only need that to happen once, and then it doesn't matter how far we've gotten since. People are still like, oh no, I'm not going to watch it because they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And that is like a barrier that we also need to get past, to be like, we do know what we're talking
Yeah.
about. We are not just hiring a YouTuber because some people watch their videos, but they've never been interested in League.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, you've got to pick the right people. I mean, look, obviously, money is a big thing, you know, like overseas,
Yeah.
you can be a professional gamer and you make money from it. You know, you can be a professional caster and all that kind of thing. And, you know, we're not there yet in South Africa. We do have some big names that are really making it. And as they make it, you can sort of see like South Africa's progressing towards like the same or similar kind of levels, or at least the entry levels where we can start having events and whatever like this. But yeah, you do need to have people that are, yeah, I can't find the word, but like very interested in whatever they are watching or shoutcasting or everything like that, you know. Look, we'll get there. I think it just takes a bit of time and a little bit of practice, a lot of bit of practice.
But again, like, I feel like we are technically there in a lot of ways. It just doesn't get presented to us as much as the international stuff does. I say again, like, full circle moment, but where we started this episode off with me being so surprised that there is a whole team of game developers working on a pretty big international game living here in Centurion.
Exactly.
So, and I mean, I've seen the skill of these people. My one mate was the second best Osu player in the world for years.
Yeah, South African
Like,
born.
we do have a talent, we do have a skill. I just think, and you hit the nail on the head, like, we just have to find that right mix of hype building.
Yeah.
To just get people to get super excited and be like, I'm gonna give this a shot. And then I think we'll see this massive shift very, very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I don't know, how old are we now? When was Carousel in those events? 10? 15?
Ooh,
20?
Yeah.
Between
A
15 and
while
20
ago.
years ago, right? You know, those kind of events, when we started with that then we had a good mix, because then we had teams that everyone was hyped about, and we managed to send those teams overseas to compete on a global level. You know, like, these are the best in South Africa, we're sending them to you guys, and they did pretty well. And if we can kind of, I don't want to say get back there, but maybe take us or look back, see what we did right there, and then take that knowledge and use it now in a modern era, you know, we could bring that back.
I think I know, and it's a very controversial opinion. I think it comes down to never meet your idols.
Okay.
So, in the olden days, Jesus.
I used to walk
Wow.
uphill
Okay,
to
back
and
then,
from school.
social media wasn't as prevalent as it is today.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw these people on these esports teams in very aspirational ways. The same way that we look at people like Faker and SKT1 and all these international teams.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now, especially in the local scene, everybody's on social media, everybody chats to everybody, everybody knows everybody. And there is this sort of veil that gets removed when you have that level of familiarity. That person is now my buddy, so I'm no longer aspiring to be them or being like, I'm super hyped for the team.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I can see that.
It's just, so here's like a very vague but similar example. There was at a stage a game development studio in South Africa that popped up. They didn't last very long, but what they proposed that they were going to bring out was super exciting, right up my friendship group's alley. We were like, this is amazing, this is sick. We all followed the developer on Twitter.
Yeah.
And about an hour later, he sent all the girls in my friend group, me included, dick pics. Unprompted. And then the illusion was broken.
Uh-huh.
And it went from, oh wow, this guy is so sick and so aspirational and I'm so psyched for his game, to, okay,
Oh wow, this guy is
we're not
sick.
talking about this game. What a creep.
Gross.
And I like, that is an extreme example, but it's still that, like, it's the don't meet your idols thing. Like, we should have these South African esports teams that are sort of like mysterious and elusive. And you just look at them and you're like, wow, you're such a cool person. You don't look at them and go, you put milk and then cereal.
Fair enough. I mean, I can see that. But the world's changing, unfortunately. I mean, we've all seen the British royal family crumble from the monarchs of the world to the butts of people's jokes because of this veil being pulled aside, you know. So I can see that. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But I'm sure we can do it. There's got to be... You just got to... I don't know. You just gotta. I'm saying you just gotta, like I know what the solution is, but I don't. I mean, we can think about it, but I think we'll get there. I think, you know, after COVID and everything, like, we're in the industry, and I feel like there's something bubbling in the behind the scenes here that's gonna get things kind of rocking and rolling all again.
Also, like, South Africa is always playing catch up as a country.
Fair.
Like, I feel like we're always sort of late adopters. So, social media gets heavy popular overseas. 5 years later, it takes off here.
Yeah.
Even like, maybe the bridge is closing slightly now, but especially when I was younger, like, iPhones were a huge thing overseas, and then 2 years later, it only started becoming a big thing here. So I feel like esports is just still playing catch up. Like, it's a huge thing overseas. It's this huge, like, part of a gaming industry.
Yeah.
And give us another 2, 3, 4 years, and that bug is gonna bite you, and we're gonna be like, yes.
Yeah.
It's just, unfortunately, as a country, we're late adopters. We don't adopt at the same time as the rest of the world. Like,
we're just
it
on
just
a very
is
casual
facts.
pace down here.
Yeah.
But,
We're all on Cape Town time.
yeah, unfortunately, it's the way it goes. I mean, we've also got to remember there was the whole event that put the whole world on pause for like 2 years, you know, so we had to
100%.
reset a few things, so, but we'll get there. It'll be fun. But to answer the, I suppose, main point of the question, Arielle, what game would you like to see in esports that isn't already there? You can't pick League again.
And that isn't very technical. You know what? I do actually know.
Okay.
I feel like, and I'm gonna go like world esports, whatever, you're not gonna agree with me. But I feel like we have so many great competitive survival horror games.
Okay.
If you look at Friday the 13th, which is now gone, Dead by Daylight, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we've got so many team-based, all v1 or 1v all survival horror games that I think that would be really cool to see on a competitive level, because the games are designed to be super atmospheric, super great. It's entertaining when people have no talent. Imagine how great it would be when people do have talent.
Imagine, and I'm picturing it now. Imagine they set up the stadium and it's like there's a fog, you know, as you're sitting in the seats, and maybe when the serial killer is like near you in the crowd, even like a little jump scare for you in the crowd. Yeah, that could be really cool, actually. I could see that. That's not a bad pick.
But that, for me, I think that would be entertaining.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun to watch. Sheesh. What a good... Now I have to come up with something. Wow. I don't know if I can top that. I don't know. I suppose, like, on a similar level, there's the survival things where you always reach an end point, right? So I suppose maybe it's a little bit of a speed run mechanism, but to try and get to the end point of those kinds of games in the most efficient way possible. I mean, there's so many ways you could kind of
competitive don't starve.
Competitive don't starve. Well, like, who can beat the Ender Dragon in Minecraft first, I guess. I don't know how long it takes. If it's 2 weeks, obviously a very bad esport. Like, this is not an exciting thing. But maybe even unpacking. Imagine speed unpacking, if you could get that to be a thing. Could be. See, I told you, I'm not going to beat yours. It's not going to happen.
Have you ever watched the speed running championships that are held each year?
Mm-mm.
Good games done fast.
No. So it's already a
Oh,
thing.
you should watch it. That is basically literally the thing. It's good games done fast. So they'll take a game exactly like unpacking.
Yeah.
And then they'll try and speed run through it, and they break world records and everything. And it is actually so incredibly entertaining.
Yeah.
It is great.
Because I've watched a few of those.
And I mean, I'm not a speedrunner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is great to watch.
100%. I mean, I've watched a few of those ones where they make the developers watch the speedrunners break their games, and that's also just so cool to see the developers like, wow, I didn't even think anyone could get there,
Could do that.
He's thinking in code. He's like, okay, I know there's a wall of code here that will stop him from doing that, and then he breaks it and he's just like, how? These guys are geniuses, magicians in their field.
But like, how people find things. I remember years ago watching a video about CSGO, where on one of the maps, all the way to the left, there was this tiny little window. And if you threw your frag grenade into that tiny little window, it would disappear and it would drop on the other side of a map. So you could literally frag someone for your team without even being there.
Yeah.
And it's like the walkthrough people. Again, I watch these videos and I'm like, but how? How are you the first person to figure this out? I don't understand.
They've got to just be spending hours and hours like looking for these things, right? I still see the videos now from Counter-Strike 2 of like where to throw your grenade so it perfectly bounces off of this wall and then lands in a blanket and then pops over here and like releases the best smoke in the whole thing. And I'm also just like, you must have spent so long timing or aiming that grenade, and like imagine this degree to get the perfect one. Yeah, we're just casual gamers.
But it's the same, like people that make these compilation videos on YouTube, and then they take like a movie like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and every time somebody says the word Frodo, they've cut it out and put it in a compilation. I'm like, how do you have the time? How? I don't understand.
I don't know. Some people just do. Maybe they have the secret. That's it. We should find these people that have, where you just like, how do you have the time? And find them, literally go and find them and ask them to give you the Fountain of Youth. Or maybe they have those, remember those, what was it called? Time stoppers, watch clockers. That movie where they pause time with their watches for like 30 seconds.
Yes.
Whatever that was called. Maybe they just keep hitting that and then they've cracked it. We'll find them.
But yeah, it's crazy. But you know, it's like, I do kind of get it. I watched years ago an interview with Dolly Parton. And somebody was like asking her, because she apparently reads a crazy amount of books a year. She like reads like 200 books a year. And somebody was like, how is that possible? They don't have time to read. And she was like, no one has time to read until they start reading. The moment that you just start reading, it's like you just find the time to read. And I feel like a lot of things in life are kind of like that.
I guess so.
Like, I'll sit and I'll be like, I don't have time to exercise. Up until the point that Larry and I actually start exercising. And then I'm like, would you look at that? I do actually have time to exercise. Or like, more recently, like 2 weeks ago, I was like, I don't have time to play Guild Wars. Turns out I do have time to play Guild Wars. I just don't sleep anymore.
I was
But
gonna
the
say,
time is there, Cody.
there's a sacrifice. When you were like, I don't have time to exercise, I was like, yeah, okay, look, I'm in the routine of exercising, but I still have to wake up but early in the morning to get there and then like still fit my job in, right? There's time. But
Gross. Are you a morning exerciser?
have to. Come on. You've been,
Oh no, Cody.
You sit-
No, absolutely not.
You sit behind your
I'm an
PC
evening-
exactly like I do, and then you want to tell me that you can still motivate yourself to get up and go and do something after that?
I'm an afternoon person. Anything. Cody, if I could do my makeup in the evening and then go sleep and wake up with it that way, I guarantee you I would. Like, I cut it so fine. If I know that we have to start at, let's say, 8 o'clock, I try and wheel and deal my time so that I can get out of bed at like 2 to 8 and still make being in front of my PC by 8.
Oh, jeez.
I cannot do things early in the morning. I am dead to the world. Like, I'm a lot better now with age, or I've learned to hide it. But like, years ago, I mean, I used to work at my dad's company, so we used to drive together. And my dad used to like openly say he is physically too scared to talk to me when we're in the car because he knows up until the point that we actually arrive at the office, I'm just sleeping with my eyes open. Like, that is not talk to me, ask me how my morning is, ask me how I slept. That is second sleep time.
Oh, jeez. I mean, okay. Maybe that's why we work well. I'm up early, you're up late. We'll just cover all the bases. That's how it goes.
I cannot believe, how do you have the energy to still work a full day after exercising?
The same reason
Power!
you
That
have
is
the
a
energy
magic
to
power.
play Guild Wars until 2 in the morning. It's called caffeine.
Touche.
Yeah. There you go. Secret is out.
But I will say that is pretty funny for me. Like, I'm generally on a pretty like good sleep schedule of like, I try 11 o'clock at night, I'm going to the room, I'll lie in bed, I'll be on my phone for a while, whatever, I'll fall asleep. And when I'm in that schedule, I get so sleepy. Like 11:30, I feel like I'm dead. I can't keep my eyes open. But the moment I start playing a game, I mean, we can easily play Guild Wars until 4 a.m. And I have never been more awake. I don't get sleepy. I don't get tired. I don't even want to go to bed, right?
Stimulated.
4 a.m. I basically just force myself to sleep because I know I have work for next morning. And I can do this. I mean, we've been doing this now for like 3 weeks. I can do it for months and it's fine. But let's not play Guild Wars. 11 o'clock at night, I'm like,
Please take me to bed. I'm dying.
yep.
Yeah, maybe it's just because Guild Wars is stimulating, right? It's a good game. That's it's got to be that. It's the only reason. Why would you play it for so long if it was terrible, right?
Why have I played League of Legends for so many years of my life then, Cody? Who knows? It's like Stockholm Syndrome. Like, we're just so used to it by now. It's what you do together.
Play terrible games for hours and hours on end.
No, ridiculous. But it's crazy, like, gaming just, it's a different beast altogether for me. And like, board games are exactly the same thing. I mean, my friends can come and visit me normally. And then again, it reaches 11 o'clock at night, I'm physically kicking them out of my house. Like, I don't care. The moment that I'm over people being at my house, I'll just kick you out. Straight
Get
up.
out.
Like, I will literally stand up, be like, okay, time to leave now. Goodbye. Like, get up, go, you've worn out your welcome. But those same friends can be at my house playing board games. And then we can just play the night away. We can play into tomorrow for all I care.
As long as you're playing the game as well, right? You can't just be sitting there not playing.
No. But like, for the most part, all the games we play are like collaborative games. For that reason, because otherwise you're just like screwed. Like 5 minutes into a 2-hour campaign, you're out. What must you do with your life now? No, thank you.
Just kick them out your house. That's what you do.
Absolutely not.
Well, speaking of kicking people out of our house, let's kick each other out from under this table and wrap this thing up. Wrap this bad boy up.
Has it been enough time?
It has been.
Has it? Has it really?
Time hath doth run.
Shocking! But okay, I agree. It's time to call it. So, if you guys miss us lots, because I mean, we're gonna miss each other. We've got another public holiday coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, do you know we're getting screwed out of public holiday? I'm so upset.
What do you mean?
There's a public holiday on the 27th, which is a freaking Saturday, which is the most disappointing day to have a public holiday. So we're being conned out of one, and that makes me sad.
Just don't think about it.
But anyway, we have a single public holiday coming up. I mean, Cody is planning to be jet setting, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. For a group of people who chose a job that was, I want to stay at home, not wear pants and play video games, we sure are traveling a lot lately.
I know, I said the same thing the other day. Couldn't believe how much travel we've got all of a sudden.
Ridiculous. But anyway, so if you guys miss us, you can follow us on all our social channels. So X, Twitter, Threads, LinkedIn if that's your vibe, Instagram, TikTok if you're still a TikToker. We are on all those places.
Mm-hmm.
You can read the words that we write on our website, www.nag.co.za. You can be one of the cool kids. Like, you don't need to have imposter syndrome like me and Cody. You can actually just be a cool kid by heading over to shop.nag.co.za and picking up one of the final few copies of a NAG annual before the July edition hits. Because you don't want all your friends to have the July edition and you don't even have the annual yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't be that far behind. Jeez, guys.
Nope. Okay, your bits, Cody.
If you would like to be a part of this show or NAG or, you know, whatever else we get up to, you can always drop us an email at hey@nag.co.za, or you can be young and fun and full of vigor and send us a WhatsApp on our WhatsApp
Everything
line.
we are not.
Everything we're not. WhatsApp.
Well, one half of us is that in the morning and one half is that in the evening.
Yeah, so it just depends on who's got the phone at the time, right? So like, just plan your messages properly according to those times. But you can drop us a WhatsApp on 0628341919. If you guys have the Ayoba app on your phones, you can also follow the Game Explorers channel where we post everything that we're getting up to. Or you can jump on our Discord if you want. You know, we have giveaways, we have servers, we have stuff to talk about and things to do.
I mean, Cody is like an evil overlord on that channel, but the rest of everyone else is pretty nice.
It's only because you caught me at the afternoon.
I send one message and I get threatened with freaking Discord purgatory. Ridiculous.
That's what you get. Don't threaten the overlords. Alright guys, we'll see you next week.
Bye. I'm so disappointed. I didn't even get to tell the story about my crazy ass family.
Oh man, we forgot about that.
I'm so disappointed.